some cases unable to accept or receive those donations because we didn't have adequate freezer space to store it, or we would end up having to try to send the food straight back out before it spoils or whatever. But for us, it's a big deal. I'm the president of the organization. Miss Dee Reed, she's the director of the pantry. This is my wife, Robin Zen. And Vonda she's a coordinator here also at the Feeding Hearts Food Pantry. And everybody else you see around, we got a couple of board members who are here, but everybody else who are volunteers, just kind of raise your hand and let everybody know who you are, because you know they are so valuable and important to us. But before we go, without going any further, as I mentioned, there were at least 4 organizations who came together and they raised funds to help us build this freezer. And I'd just like to just mention their names, and at the same time I would like for someone from those different organizations to just kind of just say a word. You know, it won't have to be a long drawn out speech, but you know, just say something, because we appreciate you so much. The foundation of North Mississippi, Mr. Keith Fulcher, I'm sorry. And I'm going to call the names first, and then I'll come back and I'll give them an opportunity to say a word. We have Mr. Belapante here from Northcentral Power. Then we have anybody from Team Waste here, a representative from Team Waste. Okay. We have a couple other people who made some donations to us here as far as the building construction, which is Robert Reed, who helped frame the top and everything. And we also had a gentleman that did the concrete for us here. His name was Robert Campbell. Of course, and then my company did some work in here too, which is Jen's Air Conditioning Heating. And then we had a whole host of people that just kind of pitched in and did kind of little things for us there. So, what I'm going to do right now is just take a quick moment, and I'm going to allow each one of the names that I called to just have a quick word, because we appreciate them so much. Now, I'm going to start off with the foundation of Northwest Mississippi. If you would, give him a hand.
Yay!
This is Facebook Live, so y'all really got to be
excited.
I'm with the Community Foundation of Northwest Mississippi, located in Hernando. We serve 11 counties, and we are blessed to be partnering with you, Mr. Zen, and everybody in the Marshall County area feeding the hungry. We're extremely blessed to be partnered with the Maddox Foundation, Robin, so thank you, Robin. None of this would be happening, Mr. Zen, without her money, the money of the Maddox Foundation. So we want to thank you for feeding the hungry. We want to thank you for helping us as a community foundation carry out our mission of connecting people who care with causes that matter. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this time we're going to hear from the Maddox Foundation. That's Miss Robin Hurdle. Give her a hand.
All right.
And they asked me to actually speak very loud and clear.
Absolutely. Thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate the volunteers and the opportunity that we have to help support what's going on in our community. Ms. Delia and Mr. Zen, we could not do this without you, and Mr. Belapante. We really appreciate it. The partnership, but it's the volunteers that make it happen. So thank you all very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Belapante from Northcentral.
What a wonderful day it is. Wonderful opportunity here for this community and the good work that Feeding Hearts does in North Mississippi. research, training and development. I tell my kids a lot of times, we get through this pandemic, what's going to shine is what we learn.
Amen.
How we improve and how we respond. And through this, a lot of good things, this being one of them. TVA was very gracious to allocate some funds for a community care fund coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. And it was a matching grant fund. Northcentral was able to contribute a sum that was matched by TVA, and then Ms. Robin graciously matched that. So we were able to multiply funds to put out into the community. And in talking with Keith and Ms. Robin, we really wanted to identify sustainable projects that would go and benefit the community for years to come. And this is a perfect example of such a project, because being able to keep food longer, being able to support the community and address the needs of food insecurity for years to come is one of the good things that's coming out of this. So I love the partnership that has come from this. I love the community outreach, and thank you, Mr. Zinn, thank you, Ms. Delia, and thank you, Ms. Robin, and to Team Waste and the Tennessee Valley Authority for their contributions.
Miss Gia Reed, executive director, she didn't want to be called on, but I'm going to call her anyway because she's a hard worker and she's totally responsible for 100% of the work that goes on down here beside her daughter, Wanda. So say something to the
This is his camera.
Go stand by Robin, or go stand by.
I just want to thank everybody that donated to us to make this possible. Mr. Bella Penn and me, we can talk for many days trying to make this a business project. Thank you all for all of your support. To everyone that donated to us, I want to thank everyone. We got one of the #1 volunteer teams in Mississippi, and they all are here. Whenever we ask, they all come together. The only thing, we got three sets of bosses here. We got the big boss, we got the little boss, and we got the boss. But I want to thank everybody for everything that they do. Thank everybody.
Now, this almost closes this out. Now, there's one thing we missed. Normally, when you start a program out, we normally start off with prayer. But we're going to ask Bishop Davis that he come and just bless our efforts, our freezer, and everything that we do from this point. Bishop Davis.
All right.
Let us pray. Father, internal this fellowship, and God, we thank you for everybody that donated here. And we give you all praise and all glory. Even when in the midst of a pandemic, we know you still God.
Yes,
And we trusting and leaning and depending on you. These and all other blessings we ask in thy son Jesus' name. Somebody say amen.
We don't have a representative from Team Waste here, but just let me just say something on their behalf. We certainly appreciate their efforts as well. The role that they played was very vital. We appreciate that. We thank them, and let the word go out that we really, appreciate what they did for us.
You did.
Thank you. Yeah, just make sure you got it.
Let's outlive someone. If somebody have anything else they want to contribute, we will make room at this time. Anybody?
And we wanna also thank Mr. Zinn for everything he do for us down here. We wanna thank him for that. Mr. Zinn, we wanna thank you always letting us call on you all the time when something ain't. We have even been broke down on the road trying to pull in loads and had to get them up out the bed over in the night. So we broke down on 7, 8, and on the branch. I just want to thank everybody, but thank you for always being there to support us and keep us going.
Wonderful.
Can we open the freezer after we're finished? Just when he's finished, and I'll walk in.
Thank everybody.
All
Again, we appreciate you so much. And this concludes our ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yeah.
Blind them.
Open it and I'll walk in.
Okay, walk in. Okay.
I'm gonna walk in. Why don't you walk in? Walk in. This is Facebook Live. Just walk in like you're touring.
It's good in here. Yes, you all did a really good job, Mr. Zinn. Oh, I'm in your way. Excuse me. I remember when they delivered Let me get in there.
No. All right. Hey, all right, Delia, tell me about the food pantry. Tell me where where we are, to the viewers who might not have any idea. And you can lower your mask. All right, and just talk loud.
The food pantry is at 5669 Highway 178 West. And we're in Red Banks. We're actually in Victoria, but we're in Red Banks. And I just want to let everybody know we serve every Tuesday from 10 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. We're in the middle of a pandemic now. We have regular clients that come, but they all are welcome to come, even if they're not a regular client. We don't turn nobody away. Thank God to the freezer, we have adequate space now, have more room and everything to work with, so that is truly a blessing. I want to thank you all. If we have extra overflow, we just do a drive-by. Just let them drive up. Each and every one client, if you ever do come, they just drive in, circle around, and go on out. That's the way we do it.
Have you ever been able to give frozen food away, meat?
Yes, yes, so much. So much we have had, so much donated to us now, and each household gives up to last them about 3 weeks to a month.
Well, in the past, okay.
Wasn't able to do it. Wasn't able to do it because I didn't have the adequate space to store all of it.
Right.
But thank God now we have that.
Good,
So we're
good.
able to give more and more and receive more and more.
And if somebody wanted to donate, how would they get in touch with
They
you?
can get in touch with me. They can call Delia Reed. Our phone number is 901-649-2741. Or they can call George Zinn, and his phone number is 662-544-3270.
Great. Delia, thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much as well.
Okay, thank you. Alderman,
Yes.
you can lower your mask. Tell us from an elected official's point of view why something like the freezer and the food pantry is important. And you be ready next.
Well, it's important whether you live in the city or you live in the county. You know, all of our people that have needs, and we've had tornadoes come through. People have lost their homes to fires with the pandemic. People that have lost their jobs, and it's just really important to know that we have something wonderful like the food pantry that's available to help meet their needs.
All right, tell us your name and your...
My name's Christy Owens. I'm Alderman of Ward 4 for the City of Holly Springs.
Great. Okay, Christian. Thank you for being here, Christian. Thank you. Okay. All right. And from a business perspective, just tell us who you are, your company, and tell us why you think this is critical to our region.
Okay, I'm Michael Belapani with Northcentral Electric Cooperative. We're a member-owned electric cooperative that distributes TVA power through Marshall and DeSoto counties. I guess the main reason why we're doing things like this is one of the cooperative principles is concern. And that concern for community is reaching out to help worthy organizations and our residents in their times of need also. So with TVA's gracious gift, we were able to match funds thanks to the Board of Directors of Northcentral Electric Cooperative, and further matches by the Maddox Foundation really make this happen, and it benefits the community greatly.
Great. Well, thank you, Northcentral and all the other funding partners. So, Robin, just tell us who you are, tell us who you represent, and tell us why you think this is important from a private foundation point of view perspective. And you can lower your mask. We're okay.
I'm Robin Hurdle with the Maddox Foundation in Hernando, Mississippi. It was founded by Margaret and Dan Maddox, and
really excited to be here today. I think this is a huge, important project for North Mississippi, and during this time of the pandemic, we looked up and thought about what people really needed, and this is what they really needed. And if you've ever been on the receiving end of needing this food, then you know how important it is, and I have to. And so it really touched my heart, and knowing that somewhere out there there's a teenager or a child that may receive this food, and they may grow up to be in the position that I am, where they can give back to the community. And I'm just very blessed to be able to be here and doing that with these wonderful people who are volunteering, and it's just a wonderful day.
Great. Well, thank you. You know, I tear up every time I hear the story of your need, so I don't know if you feel comfortable doing that again, but it's heartbreaking.
My grandmother and I had we had a can of corned beef hash between us to split.
Mike.
And it was Christmas, and we were arguing. My grandmother and I were arguing over who was going to eat the can of food, and she was saying I needed it because I was so young, and she was diabetic, and I said, you have to eat it. And so we were having this argument over one can of food, and I didn't give us Friday, and I didn't get paid until the following Monday. And so that's what we had. That's all we had. And about that time, there was a knock on the door, bam, 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 and it was the police department, and we were chosen to be recipients of the food grant for that year, and they brought 2 huge bags of food, and we had turkey, and we had dressing, and we were so excited. My grandmother was crying, and I was crying too. I was crying because I was so excited about it. You know, I was 18 years old, or almost 18, and my grandmother was crying because she was embarrassed. She was ashamed to be on the needing end. And I told her there is no shame, you know, and sometimes you need it and you're the one receiving, and sometimes you can give, and right now we need. And so I'll never forget that day. And so now, you know, I know that there are some people out there who need it and who may be a little ashamed to come in to get it. And there is no shame. You come on, you need it, you get it. And I'm very thankful and grateful that I'm in a position now that we can be on the giving back side. So,
Tell us your grandmother's name just to memorialize her legacy.
my grandmother's name is Annabelle McCandless, and she was my nanny. I called her nanny. When I was little, I said I wanted to grow up to be a nanny, and so that's what my granddaughter calls me, because I adored my grandmother. And but you know, when it would rain, we'd sit around, one time we sat around 24 different pots around in the floor to catch all the rain. So it was not exactly a very nice house, but we were very happy, and there was a lot of love in there. So
Well, thank you, Robin, personally, and thank you to the Maddox Foundation.
thank you for the opportunity. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
thank you. Mr. Zen, this is Facebook Live, and if you don't mind lowering your mask and telling us just your reaction to the freezer and the donations and what you think it'll help you accomplish in feeding the hungry. Just speak a little loud.
Okay, thank you so much for this interview. We had a wonderful ribbon cutting. We had all of the donors that contributed to making this freezer possible for us. And as I stated in my speech as I was doing the ribbon cutting, this freezer enables us to do twice as much as what we were already doing, and perhaps even more, because at this point we're able to receive double or triple the amount of food that we're receiving, have been receiving in the past, and it's a blessing, certainly a blessing. We can hold food and doesn't have to distribute it right away. That helps us do a better job of picking and choosing and getting it into the right homes, into the many different families that we serve. Otherwise, in the past when we were getting food, we'd have to try to distribute out immediately before it spoiled, and in that case we wasn't able to do the best job of picking and choosing who really is in the most need of it. So this is a blessing. We had Northcentral that contributed. We have the Maddox Foundation and the Northwest Community
Foundation of Mississippi contributed, and we had Team Waste also, and we had others that did other minor projects here with this freezer that was donated as well, and we're just thankful. We just don't know how we can say it enough that we're so thankful for these individuals, these group organizations that kind of stepped in and helped us in our community here, in our efforts.
Well, on behalf of those who are receiving the food, thank you for what you're doing, and thank you to your Feeding Hearts Food Pantry.
Sure.
So great.
Thank you again.
All right, great. Thank you.
It enables us to bring in food box is just like you see it right here. We don't necessarily have to unpack it and try to get it all into small.
I thought I went out. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it allows us to roll in these whole cases of food, and we don't have to unbox it and put it in freezers, which we will maintain the depth of the freeze on these different meats and all. So
Great.
with that, it's a wonderful thing for us.
Great. Well, thank you again, Mr. This is a wonderful walk-in freezer. Congratulations.
Thank you.